Hello, hello out there.
Day 3. We're here. We made it to day 3 on time. I love it. Lots of good feedback so far, right?
Oh yeah, our students are really getting involved. I love seeing people who have never thought about how fireworks are really scary on that holiday are beginning to prep earlier and earlier. And I've had people reach out like, "Hey, my aunt said she's doing this challenge. I really want to participate. How do I get in?" So that's really awesome. Continue to share with family and friends even after we're done with the challenge, because we want to make sure that this is the safest holiday and more enjoyable, less stress for everyone.
Yeah, I am, Julie. Just so you know, behind the scenes, I am putting all 5 days into a syllabus so that we can just share the link and have the workbook and everything in there. But we will have a video, one video on a YouTube video that you can share all across the world, no matter what the sound is. Long Beach Grand Prix, we should redo it again. And the parade that just happened, we'll remember next year. And you can share one video that will have all of the tips all throughout that entire video.
Awesome.
Yeah. All right. So let's go ahead and jump into day 3. Let me, so I've got that.
If you're here, drop in the comments what you chose to do with your dog while you were exposing them to to hearing these sounds. Yesterday, we challenged you to get up and play, to do a game, to do a dance party, to do some training. So what did you choose to do with your dog yesterday? And what are you committed to working on today? Where were your weak spots? Where are your successes? We want to know so that we can help coach you along the way.
Absolutely. I love that because having a plan is all really good, but you have to action that plan. So if your dog is consistently stressed out at the sound of a dog barking at afar, like, from a distance inside your home, then say that that's something I'm committed to working on. We are asking for a 5-day commitment of 2-3 minutes. And today, I mean, yesterday was only 15 seconds to 1 minute. I know that everybody can do that for sure. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive in because we've got more games to introduce. And if you don't know by now, I am Yo. I am the one on the left. And that is my dog, my oldest dog, Bentley. And Julie, quick introduction.
Yeah, I am Julie Fryman. That's my oldest dog, Opal Blossom. And we are both championing the sound sensitivity and working on this for years and years together to make sure that all of the dogs across Southern California, not just Southern California, although it is particularly loud here around this season, but we want everyone to enjoy the holidays, including our furry friends.
Yes, I'm on week 3 with my boys, and it is something that I commit to doing all the time. Henrik has a quick question for you, Julie. Is Opal a border collie? Because Henrik is obsessed with border collies.
Yeah, that is actually everyone asks that question. Her DNA says that she is a pit bull Old English sheepdog with some lab and shepherd in there. But so far, no border collie, but she certainly herds and plays much like a border collie. Thanks for the question, Henrik.
So day 1, we talk about desensitizing your dog to the fireworks sound. This is the very first step. Before you go and change the emotional response to how they feel about the sound, we need to get that volume at a level where your dog can tolerate. So we talked about on day 1, and if you missed that, it's already up on YouTube. You can watch that. It was all about making sure that volume, again, is at a level that your dog can tolerate, writing that down, and then you're going to be using that volume to introduce the next thing. On day 2, real quick, go ahead into the Let's Party. What was that about, Julie?
Let's Party was taking that same sound level that you were working on exposing before, and now we're starting to participate and activate our dog's fun and play and even a little bit of training, doing something that you both really enjoy to help change the context. We call this counter conditioning, changing the context of what your dog feels about these big booms and sudden pops. Now we want to get up and get active. And at least yesterday we were being as silly as possible. I had a dance party in my house, no music, just, I mean, my neighbors must think I'm a crazy person. All 3 dogs jumping and wiggling and dancing around me. It was so much fun. So drop it in the chat what you chose to do yesterday, because we gave you a lot of options. Tug, fetch, getting down on the floor and wrestling with your dog. I know that that's Bentley's like ultimate is when he gets to wrestle with mom. So that was first, it was, you know, exposure. Now we're starting to change how our dogs feel, and we're going to take it even a step further today.
And you'll notice that none of the volume that we're playing has the fireworks sound, because we realize in your living room, your dogs might be there, and we don't want them to have a negative association, like without you, you know, taking action and doing the training. So let's move. What would you say?
Management.
Yeah. Yes, management for sure. All right. So moving on to 5 more counter conditioning games. We've got 5 to introduce, and we're going to go through them one by one. So let's start off with using loud interactive feeders. So Julie asked, what's if? But it's interactive feeders because it was too long to spell. So these are 4 of the popular ones that we use at Canine Learning Academy. I've got a set here in my home. Julie's got this, and I've got cupboards of them. So take a listen to this. So this is just something that you might not have thought about. We typically start off with a quiet, not moving interactive feeder, especially with our puppies, a snuffle mat, right? Or a snuffle ball where it's made out of fleece and they can kind of move it around. The food comes out, and it's like, you see the newer dogs, they just, you know, they do a little paw tap, a little nose tap, food comes out. And then as the dog builds confidence, you start to see much bigger movements. You'll see some of the dogs grab it and shake it, right?
That's my dog. She just a bulldozer through it. Yeah.
So what we want to do is change the sound. If you've been doing fireworks all the time, or you've been doing whatever sound that is, use a different sound. The sound of interactive feeders on a hard floor is loud. It's loud for me. Like, it's obnoxiously loud. That's why when I'm on this and I'm going live, I have to remove that off the ground. Otherwise, it's just, you know, they'll hit it on the tables. But if you think about it, if your dog can get to the level where they're pushing that interactive feeder across the floor and banging it against the kitchen counters and stuff like that, that loud noise that they're being exposed to has a really good feeling for them. They think they can care less about that sound, and that's just another great way to expose them to a loud sound. It gives them confidence, it gives them security, it gives them like, okay, I'll try it, especially if you keep changing out the feeders. Now, I do have a question for you, and I know you'll know the answer to this because I get this question a lot. We get this a lot. Is what do you do if your dog is starting off with an interactive feeder? Like, let's just say the Kong Wobbler. How do you get them to first get involved? Like, take the trial of the first few repetitions, Julie?
Oh my gosh, that's such a great question, because if your dog has never used interactive feeders, a lot of times they are really nervous about approaching this thing that's going to wobble and move. So at least in my home, I start off with a deconstructed version. I take it apart, I unscrew it, I set it down on the floor, I let them explore it, sniff it, see that it's all safe, it's all good. I'm going to put something super smelly and enticing in there so that they can start to just eat it while it's no threat at all. It's not going to move. I might even hold it at first so that we can work towards that trust. And then I'm going to use something really yummy and spreadable on the side, especially because we want them to wobble. So a lot of times I'll put a little peanut butter or some pumpkin or yogurt on the side and just kind of get them to at least take a little nose tap or a lick off of that side, just so it wobbles a little bit. And then I'll toss some food out as if I were part of the interactive feeder. So by giving them that security, like, I'm right here, dude, and I promise I'm not going to let anything happen to you. It's not going to come back and hit you in the face. Expose it to them as slowly as possible if they're really, really nervous about it. Now, some dogs are bulldozers, like she said. They're going to take it and throw it across the room. But if you notice that your dog has never seen this, or they're starting to get a little nervous by approaching it, take it apart, hold it still, let them interact with it in a safe way before we just let them kind of go ham.
Perfect. And those of you that have done this before and you have any tips, drop it in the comment if you've got tips on how to get the dogs to get started. So I love that. And even putting it on a soft surface like a dog bed. I love the deconstruction. I didn't even think about taking it apart and making it there. I also like put sprinkle treats all around it, and I'll stand over it. So when because when Bandit first started out, he was very nervous around it because Bentley would like knock it across the floor. So I would stand over him, and when he pawed it, I like dropped food and he thinks it came out of the thing. So now he's a lot more confident than he was before.
Yeah, and there's no wrong way for them to use it. Remember, it's okay if they use their paws or their teeth or their nose.
Yeah.
The whole point is just for them to get involved with it. So really take it at your dog's pace.
And you're better off standing away from your dog than hovering over them. Sometimes they keep looking at you like, what are you going to do? So try not to get too involved. Instead, let them participate. Let them try things out on their own. All right. Number 2 is fireworks, the sound or whatever sound you're working with, and then give them a yummy, longer lasting chew. So I purposely save, I have marrow bones that are in the freezer. So what I'm doing now is I start off with the sound of fireworks at a volume that I know they're okay with, and then I give them a longer lasting chew. What this helps them do is not only associate that positive association with that sound, but you're also getting a lot more duration, because for us, a fireworks show is going to be at least 30 minutes to 45 minutes. So we want to prolong that sound, exposure to that sound. But at the Grand Prix, it was 5 straight days. So had I known back then what I, had known now, I would have conditioned him to be able to go 5 days and probably find a place for myself to go to with him to kind of recover. So that is
actually has a really good question. If you'll highlight this, because not everyone knows what a Kong wobbler is. Kong wobbler is not the same as an ordinary Kong. A Kong is just the rubber round part. A Kong wobbler has a heavy bottom so that when they knock it, it stays up like a Weeble wobble, if you know what those are. It knocks over and then comes right back up like a punching bag. So that way they can.
We do have a video of 2 of these, okay, but we can go over all of them really quick. So the Star Mark Bobble-Lot interactive feeder is very similar to the Kong wobbler. That's that purple and yellow one, also available on Amazon. But price point wise, it's about at least half the price, half the cost of the Kong. Kong usually is a higher priced item, mainly because they're built to be a lot more durable. They've got the name branding and all of that. A very inexpensive one I found was called the Nibble Nibble, and that is how they spelled it. It's Knibble, and then the second word is nibble. And that is now these are, if you've got a dog that's really strong, I would not go for this one. This one rolls all over the ground and it makes a lot of noise. Mine is in purple. Again, you're going to see a video in just a second. But I have to cut the holes a little bit bigger on both sides because they don't give very many pieces out. So dogs mostly get a little frustrated when it's not coming out fast enough. So I did do that to kind of jimmy that one a little bit. And then what I find really helpful for a lot of little dogs is that little one that looks like a spaceship. And do you call it the gyro?
called a gyro, like a
Gyro. Okay.
gyration. So the middle part is what spins and the other acts as a bumper. So it'll slide and hit and bounce off of things almost like a hockey puck. So the middle part spins and dumps out treats. It does take a little bit more critical thinking for them because it's not on both sides. But it can be a really fun one if you have a dog that's really used to interactive feeders, that's very tenacious. It can give them something to work on for quite a while.
Awesome. Again, I'm going to play a video in just a minute. Next is we saw the fireworks and a yummy chew. The next one, number 3, is rearranging your pots and pans. So again, it's another sound. So you would give your dog, you would begin opening the cupboards, and then you would give your dog a soft place to lay down. So I did dog beds. Again, you're going to see this video. And then open up your cupboards and start to just put down those pots and pans, because it is a loud noise, and it sometimes can be startling because those are the all of a sudden noises. So what we want to see with this one is that your dog might look up at you. Maybe they're chewing on their bone and then they look up at you to see what you're doing, and then they go back to their bone. So that's how you can gauge whether you're being a little bit too loud or it's about just right. So a different sound. So taking a break from your fireworks, if you're doing fireworks, and again, switch it over to something else that's a little bit loud. All right. And you can rearrange your cupboards at the same time. You could do this with containers like Tupperware.
I was just going to say washing them, because I have a metal sink. So oftentimes when I'm washing plates or pots and pans, things are banging around. So that could also be a great way for you to get your house clean while your dog is enjoying something off to the side.
All right. And then number 4, typically it's called boom, click, treat, but I did just recently change it to boom and treat, mainly because the click is just another sound. So instead, what you'll do on this one is you're going to take a louder or a different sound. So for fireworks, we have what's called, I just recently figured out what it was called because there's a whole bunch of names of fireworks. I was doing a bunch of research. Is the screamers?
Yeah, the screamers. Yeah. Those are the ones that shoot up and all the way up in the sky. So those are, at least in America, they're called screamers.
Well, if you really do some research on fireworks, you're going to notice that a lot of them are not only labeled, you can tell where they're made and stuff, but you can see where they measure on the level of loudness. What is that called? Decimals? Decibels. So there's some that are louder than others. So if you can get the name of it, we call them screamers. You look it up on YouTube, get that sound, and use the sound that is very sharp, much different than the ones that you've been exposing them to. And you're going to say that boom, and immediately within a second offer a treat. So you'll sit down on the couch, and I have, again, a video of this one. Sit down on the couch. You'll have your phone where you can control the volume. Find a volume where your dog looks at you like, what's that sound? But if they back up or run away or anything like that, you're just simply going sound, immediately food. So boom, treat, boom, treat. Another way that we did it last year, we were in yeah, exactly. Go ahead, Julie.
Yeah, we used bubble wrap, which was awesome. Like the really big bubbles, not the little tiny ones, because those just kind of go like that. So we used the big bubble wrap to make a big pop, one at a time, just kind of twist it, pop, and then immediately give them a treat. So it's a 1-to-1 relation. Every time they hear a boom, they get a treat. And I will tell you that some of the people that did this last year that got our NBC clip, they were saying how brilliant that was, how simple, and how much that really helped their dog. So if we associate a boom or a big sudden noise right away with that reinforcement, your dog is going to start to almost like get excited and come and look for you, right? I just heard a boom. Hey, mom, I just heard a boom. Give me a treat. Instead of, I just heard a boom, rah, 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 and waking everyone up in the house.
So that is your goal, is sound, and your dogs have a much different response, a positive response to it. So sound equals something good. So in this case, for number 4, it's give them a very, very high value treat. So for this, I would do some cut up I'd probably cook some ground beef and do some ground beef, cut up hot dogs, cheese, like, your dog best. So figure out what it is that is their go-to.
Yeah.
All
Go
right.
big, go home.
And then the last one is called What Was That? And now What Was That is helping your dog be okay with all of the sudden noises. Although this can be transferred over to a lot of other things besides the noises, it can also be transferred to the sight or just anything that happens all of a sudden. So this is how this one works. And I'm explaining it before I show the video, and then we'll show the video, is that you start off with something very, very light, like a pillow on the floor. When your dog is not looking, they're busy doing something. And how we did this for this video, again, we're trying to capture it on a video. So what we did was throw a treat. Dog went in, I think it was Brutus, and he's looking for the treat. He starts to eat and his head is turned away. During that time, Diane dropped a pillow. And what is supposed to happen is your dog looks to see where that noise is coming from. The moment that they look away towards that noise, you say verbally, "What was that?" And then you offer a treat. So it's called the What Was That game. And you can transfer it over. Go ahead and keep going with this, Julie. I'm going to actually go find the video and start to play that video.
Yeah. So when I was in training school, my instructor actually told a really great story about how this helped save a family with little kids, right? Little kids make noise,
That's yeah.
drop things. And so they started playing the What Was That game. And then one day the kid like fell on the dog, not on purpose. It was totally by accident. But the parents went, "What was that?" And the dog all of a sudden got relaxed and excited, like, "Yeah, what was that?" And so by taking this very scary noise, you're walking into a house of horrors or, a nightmare alley at the time during Halloween, you're already so tense that you're going to explode at anything. But if someone was over there kind of joking with you, "Hey, Joe, what was that? That's so weird." Right? It would take the tension out of it. I went skydiving a few days ago and the instructor was joking in my ear the entire time. And I was laughing. We were being silly. So it really took all the pressure out of it. So what was that is just kind of making these big sudden noises.
Lightens it up.
Yeah. Like the garbage truck, sometimes that can be so loud.
I love that.
Making a "what was that" means that they're going to go, "I don't know, what was that?" And it makes it more of a curiosity than like, "Oh my God, baby, I'm so scared." Because then your reaction is going to drive and fuel their fear.
Absolutely. All right. So let's play this little video. And this goes from a negative to a positive. These are the 5 games that we've introduced again today. So we've got, this is what's the name of this one, Julie?
Interactive feeders. Oh, I don't know what that
one's the nibble one.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yeah. So you see how it just spins around.
This is the wobbler, Henrik. This is the one that we're talking about that's different from the standalone Kong. So it stands itself back up.
And see, they paw it, they'll drop it, they'll push it, and food comes out. Right. And once they bang it against the cabinets and stuff, it gets louder. Stuffing a Kong. So there's your traditional Kong, or giving them you could put this in the freezer to make it longer lasting, or giving them a long lasting chew. So you'll play the sound first at a volume that they're okay with, and then you'll give them the chew.
If you go on our Instagram at Canine Learning Academy, we have a Pupsicle, a frozen bone refill, a recipe already ready and up for you. So check out that Instagram because that's going to help you through this as well.
So this was chew. This is the chew along with the sound. So this is the one that you do the Kong, or you can give them a whatever your dog is safe with, and let them chew while they're listening to that sound. You're going to be adding duration to that noise.
Make sure you're supervising your dog during all of these because we need to watch for their stress signals. We need to make sure that we're observing how things are going so we can scale it up or down. Try not to just leave them in the room with the fireworks going because we don't want that to become a scary thing that mom's not there to support us.
After approximately 2 minutes and your dog is still just gnawing on their bone, you can take the volume up in a very small increment. And then number 3, this was pots and pans. So going into your kitchen cupboard, pulling out pots and pans while they chew. So wait for them to be engaged with their chew. And then here comes the sounds, right?
Notice how she's lightly setting them down, not smashing them around quite yet. We want to go slowly.
And that's what you're looking for. Is the dog might look at you, and that's fine, but they should continue to chew. So if you notice a dog picks up their bone and walks away, you're being a little bit too loud. So stop and start again with a much lower volume. And then number 4.
This was our boom, click, treat. Or boom, yes, treat.
Yeah. So she's waiting for the very loud sound, and then she offers the treat. So there's a loud screaming sound. Every time that one hits, she then offers the treat. So boom, mark it, or just boom and offer a treat. Notice that she's sitting down and Bentley has full room if he wants to move away. She's not trapping him. She's not in a enclosure. She is literally saying, if you'd like to stay here, this is what I'm going to be doing. And then number 5, go ahead, Julie. What was that?
What was that? This is where we drop an item like a pillow when our dog is not looking, and then treat them after we have added the cue. What was that? So eventually it becomes this loud noise. We say, what was that? And your dog is going to look to you for their treat or their reinforcement. You could even do this with their toys or, I would say a chew, but we want to get into a good amount of reps. So having that high value treat there. What was that? And then they look towards you. There's the treat.
Yep. So that is it for today. Now we've got a game for you to do to teach your dogs that's around something that could be loud. So you can pick any one of these and try it out. Now, the reason we're giving you so many things is because we really want you to have a lot of ideas when it comes to helping your dog change the way they feel. Another really fun one, and this is actually a trick. So let me find it really quick. It's our knock it. Oh, I think I have the video. That's why it's in here. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Okay. Are you ready, Julie?
Yeah.
Let's talk them through it. Here we go.
All right. So knock it, teaching your dog this trick. It's we call it bowling. This is by setting an object down and asking your dog to touch it with their nose or their paw. So I'm tossing the treat away to get Opal to move away. I'm going to set the object down in front of her. And this is where she is totally allowed to make a mess. Knock it over with her face, knock it over with her paw, and she gets a treat every time she knocks it over. So this may be also a really good way for you to introduce interactive feeders if your dog has never had them before, is by playing this with a water bottle or a cup that's quite soft on a soft surface, so that they get used to actually going up and hitting the object instead of just kind of moving it around. Yes.
Sorry.
That's okay.
I had to run over there. So I wanted to show really quick the size because someone had a question about the Kong wobblers. So there is a big and a little. This one's actually little, although in the camera it looks the same size. No, this one's smaller and this one's bigger. And all you do is you unscrew it and then you put the kibble right here and you close this up. There's only one hole. So that's why when we're first starting out, I'll typically put something lickable right here where they push this side and then the food will come out there. And it's very bottom heavy. So it stays like we give this to a lot of dogs in their crate. So like we have labs that are just, scarf up their food. Parents love this because it gives them an opportunity to stay in place and you can contain the food in one little area. So
it gives you a lot of time to get ready in the morning, go take a shower, do whatever you need to do for mealtime. But, center these games around your dog's mealtime tonight. Make sure that you're working at a low level so that they're still having fun. You can always increase the volume. We have plenty of time before the holiday. So let's take it slow. Let's take it fun. And then we're going to continue to build upon this as we move along.
So we ask today is to teach your dog the knock it. Drop a video if you'd like, put challenge day 3, or do any one of those 5 games or the ones from yesterday, just the playing for 15, 30 seconds. All right. If you have any questions, drop it in the comments. We are coming back around and taking a look at the comments and any questions. Use the little Q with a colon so that we can see those questions. They kind of stand out.
Henrik has a really good question. If you do the pots and pans, do the dogs not relate those noises with food? The pots and pans are specifically for a loud, sudden noise. So all we're looking for is that sudden noise. It doesn't always have to be pots and pans. I've used a popcorn bowl and a wooden spoon before, or I've dropped a popcorn bowl like very low to the ground. So we're just asking you to make some, like just a big sound that they might be a little bit familiar with, but now we're going to pair it with a positive.
If you've got someone else to help you, Henrik, we do use the pots and pans dropping in the sink for the what was that game. We do it at a distance. So someone will be in the kitchen with a pot or pan. I'll have them drop it. I'll say, what was that? I'll be about 20 feet away. And then I reward the dog. And then I have them repeat it. So I usually give it was my mom last year. I just gave her a little cue. She'd drop a pot. I said, what was that? And then they'd look over there and they'd look at me and then they and offer them a treat.
And that way you also get kind of that surprise element as well, because they know mom's in front of me and they're not really paying attention to what's behind them. So,
all right. Was that helpful, guys? Let us know.
I think so. I'm about to get into it with little Miss Lena here. Yes. We have been doing firework exposure. So you guys are going to see some of our videos later this afternoon because we have made a lot of progress with neighborhood noises, but I really want to make sure she's so jumpy and anxious that she's prepared for the holiday. And I know that her mom is working with her twin brother, Wyatt. So let's challenge each other, Holly. Let's go head to head. And we're going to make sure that your dogs are fully prepared and as safe as possible in your neighborhood.
Awesome. All right, guys, enjoy the rest of your day. We will be back tomorrow with, tomorrow's going to be a big one. It's creating the safe space. So let's just say you don't have enough time to do a lot of this training. You're going to really want to understand what you can do right away to prevent the unthinkable. Also creating a safe space, what location, how to make it a positive experience, all of that. So we're going to cover a lot tomorrow, but we're going to be really laser so that we can get in and out within 30 minutes is the goal. All right. Thank you, Julie, for joining. And if you guys are loving what we're giving you, then please give us some love in the comments below.
Positive reinforcement works for trainers too. So have a great day. Go have some fun. Take pictures and videos. We want to see more people putting themselves out there and showing us how your dogs are reacting. So that we can continue to do this for more and more dogs every year.
Love
Have
it.
a wonderful day. Bye.
Bye.